Streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Welcome to the Accredited, powered by 10th year seniors here on Guardian Radio 96.9. I'm Ronaldo, and I just can't believe John and Ricardo completely threw me off in our what we call our pre-show meeting, because I just can't believe my people sometimes.
I'm Ricardo. I just want you to start dig up to find another name. I care what they do, just find another name.
I'm John Mark, and I hope everyone had a National Pride Day, a great day yesterday.
Happy post-National Pride Day, everybody. Have pride in Bahamian culture, Bahamian heritage.
Did you wear your Bahamian colors yesterday?
I wore a shirt made by a renowned Bahamian company.
I wore a shirt with a Bahamian flag. What did you wear, Cardo?
I just wore a regular shirt. I completely forgot.
Yeah, sound like you
I
no
did
pride.
I did it. Luckily, I did, because the places I went, people were highly upset with the term. And you had to explain to me just now, this has always been a thing.
Don't. We're not going to broach that subject.
I just say it.
Remember how last week when I said sometimes things it's okay to just call things stupid and leave it alone. This one of them days.
Yeah.
I respect my people, but if you want to join the conversation today, you can do so at 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, or toll free from the Family Islands at 242-300-5720. Text lines are also active today, powered by BTC. You can hit us up at 422-GR96. That's 422-4796.
Before we start, I want to just say happy birthday, Janique.
Oh, yes. Very important.
So happy birthday, Janique, even though you forget birthdays. If anyone sees it, just wish her a happy birthday.
You ain't gonna see Janique. Janique moves like I don't know. Janique kind of moves like a ghost. You just never see her.
Ghost.
Maybe like 2-3 times a year. I don't know where she is right now, but happy birthday, G. What's the lead? Now, this one seems pretty obvious, but I feel like this conversation is going to take us down a winding road. This conversation has tentacles. This conversation has. Yes, I do.
Okay.
No, when I talk, I have to act it out. This conversation has a tree of topics that we are going to broach today. But the lead is, of course, DeAndre Ayton.
Greatness. Championships.
Hey, nobody is a homer like John.
Showtime is back.
And
Factual.
I need it.
Shout out to Ricardo.
I need it. I need this. I need John's homerism from time to time. I said Homer, Homer.
He immediately became the best center in history to all Bahamians in less than 25
Whoa.
hours. I'm telling you, that's
No,
how.
Carlo, this is what we had to talk about. Hold on, let me
introduce.
introduce it. So DeAndre Ayton signs a free agent deal with the Los Angeles Lakers, something that a lot of people expected. This conversation was out there a lot. To say there have been mixed reactions from this completely underscores what we've been seeing. I'll just flat out and say it. I don't think there's anyone in the American media that thinks this is going to work. I have only seen this move being ridiculed from the time
10YS
it
has not
happened.
been ridiculing this at all.
And I'm going to say, I'm swinging to what Carter was talking about. I haven't seen the outpouring of optimism from Bahamians
Is
either,
it
to be
more of
honest.
LeBron hate, or is it just
That's
Aiden
what
hate?
that's what we want to get to. But what have been there? Ricardo, you are a lifelong Laker from the days that you thought
me
Rick
too.
Fox was. Me and John just going wherever the
Nick
Bahamian
Van
players
Exel?
go. I'm not gonna lie.
Brian Shaw was playing. Come on now. Kirk Rambis?
We're gonna get to me and John's fandom. But Carter, what have you seen from your Laker Nation?
No, I've seen a lot of support for the DeAndre move, simply from the standpoint, of course, Bahamians have not had this opportunity in quite some time to have a homer, somebody to celebrate for.
Who your center was last year, though?
Well, we
Exactly.
with Jackson Hayes in a mix of whatever, Maxi Kleber. That was our center rotation.
This ain't an upgrade, American media?
No, it is an upgrade, but I can understand the frustrations on both ends. But I think Bahamians are just excited the fact that we have a center, somebody that can actually rebound the ball. Shout out Rudy Gobert. He put us in the playoffs just by rebounding. Ridiculous to watch it live, but it is what it is. But yeah, I thought the move was a decent move.
So the biggest things about this was the DeAndre Ayton's exit from Phoenix, his exit from Portland, the fact that you had, And I hate when these kind of articles come up.
Oh
but
no, they was liars. They liars.
whenever there's a bad breakup in NBA terms, you always, well, not even just NBA, in sports terms, you always have the unnamed sources from the organization that kind of pours dirt on someone's name and talks about all the negative things that happen. And of course, that happened here with DeAndre, and he does not have a stellar reputation in NBA circles. Not the first time we've heard something like this. Yeah. So I kind of expected this article to come out. My rebuttal to that when I saw this was, well, whenever these unnamed sources do this kind of thing, how much credence do we put into this? Because
Zero.
It reminded me the same way you had all the anti-Jazz people doing this when Jazz was leaving the Marlins. Right. And what has been the Yankees' experience with him? Fantastic. Nothing even remotely close to that. So you always got to be mindful of the source when people do this kind of thing. Not saying DeAndre's not at fault with some of these things, because he may not have been the best teammate in certain situations.
In which situation?
But also look at the context of the situation that he was put in.
In both cases.
No, but okay.
The KD one, I give him some grief over because you had the opportunity to, get to the finals, do something. It didn't work out.
I totally forgot both of them were there at the same time.
Yeah.
But no, see, I feel with that was just poor management, blowing up a team that made the finals, trying to get this lightning in the bottle thing. That wasn't going to work. And then it became, look, it's very easy to say DeAndre is the problem. DeAndre ain't the problem, because what happened to Phoenix after he left? Like, these are just signs. Portland's just going this youth route, right? No way I could believe that article that came out saying he was a bad teammate. He did this, he did that. I could believe it 1%. I could believe it. No. 1%, because here's the thing. The teammates actually like DeAndre. I've been around DeAndre and the teammates.
Talk your stuff.
And they've had a good time. There was no animosity between each other. When DeAndre had his fundraiser in Portland, players and coaches and GMs and upper management came to the event to help support DeAndre. So it's like, this is something where, like you say, it feels like the Jazz thing. How can we make Portland fans feel better
about the move?
Move, because at the end of the day, he was a free agent after this season. So regardless of what happens, DeAndre was going to leave.
And by you I mean the Blazers, you made the conscious decision to take centers in the first round and back-to-back drafts.
How would you feel as a player if you just see every single draft, you drafting a center, but then something came out yesterday where it was the exact opposite, where I love anonymous sources came out and they said, no, DeAndre was helping the younger players.
Yeah, he would. All reports were that he was very good with Donovan Clingan.
This is how I know DeAndre. When we were doing national team, we had Donnie Freeman, right? He took Donnie under his wing and said, hey, this is it ain't this make-believe stuff where I've seen it with my own eyes. And if he's doing that with Bahamas basketball, I don't see why he's not doing that in real life, because you just don't turn a switch and say, oh, let me go help this person and not help this person.
But see, this is why I feel like we have to call a spade and get people to understand the business end of basketball. Portland was just not comfortable with that contract anymore.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why we buying into the hype or the narrative or the media spin. Portland was not happy with that contract, particularly after drafting 2 young centers in the last 2 years.
But I feel with this Portland contract, right, this is more of a respect factor between the two parties saying, hey, let's not wait this entire year to XYZ. We want to go with our plan. We'll let you go your way. And that's it. And that's just a mutual agreement. But I feel people have it wrong that this was a mutual agreement between the two parties saying, hey, let's move on a year earlier because we know next year you're not going to be here.
And this is why I've been telling people like the whole week after this move went down. Like if you buy into the media hype that DeAndre was the problem, you will feel, okay, Lakers got a bad, bag of goods. But if you buy into the factor that this is just Portland putting the spin around to protect themselves, when he goes out next year for the Lakers, averages 15 and 10 on
15 and 10? You disrespected him? 25 and 12.
I'm not going to say 25 and 10.
I mean, he playing with LeBron and Luka. Anyone else averaging 25 points in that lineup.
No, hold
20
on.
and 15.
To put it like this, if all he does is rebound the ball, he's walking into a 15 and 10 situation.
You know what he has to do? What he did with the Phoenix Suns.
That's it.
16 and 12.
You just have to walk up the court.
And that's championship.
You're playing with
Larry
the best
O'Brien's coming to
ever.
Nassau.
Right. So I'm just saying. But I feel like this was just Portland trying to put the spin on to protect themselves from the narrative.
Well, I wouldn't say Portland itself. I'll say Portland media.
No, those
I
those
feel
kind
like
of things
the
come from the organization
Yeah, I feel
itself.
like, not even if
They leak it to media members that they're close to. That's how that one
But
works.
some of them. But then you have the other one coming out saying that they spoke to management and it was completely wrong.
But if management is saying it's completely wrong, I need you to come out stronger. I need you to say, hey, this is the best position for for us and him. We get to move in the direction we want, and he gets to go on and pick a team. I feel like you need to come out strongly and say that this is the case.
Yeah, and
don't
it's-
let somebody just drag a player through the mud for things that you know better than.
All right, so let's get to the fit and how this is going to work for the Lakers. Why we're optimistic. Why people think it will not work. So
Will not.
I'll argue for devil's advocate from the other side. You have
Crazy.
people saying yes, the crazy people. They question his motor. They question his ability to fit with players around him. They question his ability to fit with two dominant personalities. They question whether he has the unmeasurable type of thing, the intangibles,
He got that dog
to be great. That is what they
Got out
question.
that dog. But see, in music, it's Jay-Z and Rock Nation. In the NBA, it's LeBron James and Clutch Sports. That's all this is. I feel like it's LeBron's team trying to like nerf this a bit to basically say this ain't enough for LeBron to compete. I honestly, as a Laker fan, feel like that's what this is. I don't feel like it's the media just picking up the traction. I feel like it's Rich Paul and his group putting that narrative out there, basically to force the Lakers on to do more.
This is where I got to ask Carter about some history because us
Alright.
Lakers fans, our whole lives,
Yeah.
we know what's going on. What are the Lakers known for?
Championships.
What else are they known for?
Kobe.
The Laker girls.
Yeah.
What? What?
No?
They are,
Anyways.
but I don't think that like that's top 10. like-
Resurrecting centers' careers.
Then to me.
no, that
That
is true.
is what they're known for.
top
Kareem
five.
Abdul-Jabbar.
Top five.
What gone down with him?
Yeah.
Shh.
Dwight Howard. We even got
Dwight
Dwight
Howard.
Howard to play decent
When
twice.
Powell
Twice.
came from
we
Memphis,
saved his
Andrew
life.
Bynum.
Andrew. We did
All I'm
everything
saying
fit.
is this is just the lineage of the franchise, right?
Yeah.
I think DeAndre in his prime. I don't think they
I
resurrected
agree
him.
with you.
No, we agree.
To be 27.
Not resurrected from the point that he's not in his prime.
Resurrect
He's
his
just-
image.
Yes.
Image, yes.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
Yes.
He's going to
Yes.
go back to
Now-
one of those dominant, reliable centers.
I do agree with that, and I've been saying that this is the time for all of the mud people have been slinging at you.
Stop
This
saying
is
people. I keep telling you. I'm putting this squarely at the feet of LeBron James.
no,
I-
it's
I'm-
not
I'm
just
gonna-
them,
I'm-
Votto.
Hold on.
No, these things about him have been around since Phoenix. This is bigger than the LeBron James thing.
I agree, but you have to understand. As a Laker fan, I've been down this road with player after player. I respect everything LeBron is. I respect everything he means to the game. But in situations like this, I've gone through this summer after summer. LeBron and his team, they spin the narrative that the Lakers aren't doing enough, even though for the last 3 years we've given this man everything.
Is
to
that why
compete.
he's coming out with
Yes.
these trade stuff
Yeah,
now?
it's
Like
his
buyout?
team.
Hold on.
All of this
But-
is his team.
But the things about DeAndre are separate from that, is what I'm
Ah.
talking about. Yes,
I-
because those issues and the things that people have been saying have
All right.
been around before he's had a
can
connection
accept
to
that,
the
but
Lakers.
Hear me out. What I'm saying to you is, LeBron and his team would take a smaller shoe, like what we see with DeAndre, whether you say it's been small or not. His team is the kind of team to put a battery in the back of that issue
Yes.
and blow it up to what we see today. If you talk to Laker fans immediately after this trade, this buyout and then sign it, they would tell you, bro, we buy.
How do you think Luka feel?
Then Luka was good.
It feels great.
Exactly.
Then all of a
feels
sudden
amazing.
you see the narrative starting to spin like, oh, Lakers had all these options and they settled for DeAndre.
No,
I love how it's like they settle. Like,
wait.
what?
To be fair, the statement that came out from Rich Paul and Clutch, that happened before the Aiton thing. That happened after LeBron signed it. Yes, it did.
What was the two
Miles
statements
Turner was still
thereafter? What was the two statements thereafter?
the one.
If
The one
you
that
are, if you are comfortable if you're comfortable with what this team has done the last couple of weeks, trying to put a championship team again, you don't come out and say, "Oh, they're building for the future." You're playing alongside Luka Doncic. That's enough for you to win right now.
yeah, but
You
isn't that also building for the future? You got a 25-year-old
but
superstar.
But what I'm trying to say is you don't look at a player like Luka and say, that's not enough for me to compete. I need more.
But-
But you look at Luka and you say, hey, the addition of DeAndre puts us over the top.
Okay.
The addition of whoever else puts us over the top.
But isn't that-
LeBron and his team has not communicated in the last week that the team is built to win right now. He's making it seem as if we need to do a whole word more to maintain his services.
Isn't that also, if you don't admit that they are building for the future, I feel like you're kind of ignoring the reality of the fact that you just got two mid-25-year-old players.
But that's
mid-20s players,
That's
sorry.
not how his team is treating it, though, now. They're treating it as we're ruining
So he wants Jesus on his team.
Basically, he's treating it as we need to do a lot more to keep him there. What I'm saying is, I feel like we've done enough to build in the LeBron James era. If you don't look at Luke and DeAndre and say, that's enough for me at my age to go and get a chip, the problem is not Luke and DeAndre. The problem is you.
And you got Austin.
You're sitting there with $50-something million. That's almost 30% of our cap.
Well, first of all, why shouldn't he sit there with $50-something million?
No, he's not
I'm not
saying
saying
he's
he
not.
should not have that money. What I'm saying is, given the amount you're being paid, you should look
Given
at
the
the assistants
circumstances
as Luka and
that you're
DeAndre
at.
as, bro, that's more than enough for me to
Okay,
compete.
you're trying to tell me they're saying that he wanted Miles Turner, right? Miles Turner was what, 4 years, 107 million or something
How
like
does
that?
how does that
You're-
add to what we're doing?
But you're trying to tell me you would rather that than a DeAndre. We know what DeAndre could do. DeAndre's been to the finals. He's been that third option and done very well.
Right.
At that third option. You're trying to tell me for $8 million you don't want DeAndre?
No.
Like in the grand scheme of things.
What he's saying is that the way DeAndre play is not a contributing factor to his game.
He ain't never seen
DeAndre-
DeAndre play in LA.
No, but what I'm trying to say is he prefers that.
Not his game in general.
He prefers that stretch five that kid do the Kevin Love thing, knock it out from the outside. That's what LeBron prefers.
It ain't even Cotto. It
Go ahead.
ain't even about the way that he plays in terms of what he does on the court. What I'm saying is the biggest issue here is his reputation in the NBA is that his motor just ain't there. The effort ain't there. That is the issue that
Nah,
players
all I'm
have,
saying
and
is-
he has to be the one to change that. It ain't gonna be LeBron. It ain't gonna be Luka. It ain't gonna be Austin
I
Reeves.
agree with you, but my point to that is this: everything that's going on with DeAndre, that's going to take coaching, that's going to take proper planning, that's going to take the clear preparation around.
I
him.
disagree. I think that's him.
Fair point.
I think it's
I'll
100% him.
I'll accept that as well. But all I'm saying is just the caliber of player that he could potentially be. If I am LeBron James, if I'm Luka Doncic, I'm saying, hey, that addition is a key addition for us to compete for championships.
Write this down.
That's it.
I
He's
agree.
making the All-Star game this year.
I would love to see that. I can't even lie to you. Because if he does that, that means we have somebody that we can build around alongside Luka. All I'm saying is I'm really frustrated with this whole LeBron James offseason thing. If you're going to be this antsy, if you're going to be this, I want to say a bad word right now. If you're going to be like this the entire offseason, I think the Lakers are better off without you.
I love it.
I don't, because it's ridiculous. You have more than enough to compete. I hate to say it like this. All it's time now for you to do is literally shut up and play basketball.
So
Oh,
the
shut up and
same
dribble? That's what
so
you're
the
telling
same
me?
thing.
I don't want to say shut up and dribble.
So the same
but-
thing he's been doing for 22 years.
No,
But he's
been
been playing long.
Bro, he's been the last 3 off seasons undermining everything the Lakers as an organization tries to do if it's not immediately adding to his legacy.
Absolutely, I would do the same thing.
So you think he's the reason why they sold the team?
I would never be more concerned
say
with
he's the
the.
reason,
I would
but
never
he's
be
a
more
big part of
concerned with
it.
the name on the front than the name on the back.
No,
Why? It's just laundry.
You are by all means. the
I would
greatest-
absolutely
Hold on.
make them sign my son too.
I want to have this conversation.
Yeah.
You by all means are the greatest basketball player that we've ever seen.
With
by
that-
all means.
with that
Hold
doesn't
on.
come with a certain
Hold
level
on.
of power?
I'm not saying it shouldn't.
Okay.
I'm not saying it shouldn't. I feel like with that power, you should take on the responsibility to say every now and again, I feel like we got a good team. I feel like we can compete. I feel like we
come
can go
on, bro.
That's
Come
all I'm
on.
saying. That's all I'm saying. But if you are undermining the franchise at every, what else can we get? This is me
So
talking
you want
as a pure
Miami?
Laker
You
fan.
want Miami LeBron where he says, "Let's just get to the playoffs and we'll do what we
I
got to
don't
do."
even want that. I just want LeBron to stop this whole tantrum that he's pulling to basically say the Lakers aren't doing enough.
I
for
think
me.
the more important thing is for him to be ready in June than what he says now. I think that's the most important thing.
Nah,
like him
he's-
saying these things or you wanting him to make these statements in the offseason means completely nothing when Rudy Gobert is out rebounding your entire team. That's the thing that's most important.
That's
Like, what are we
But
talking about?
But we didn't just wake up one day and moved away from AD. Him, Rich, they all played a part in what happened with AD going to Dallas. They played a direct role in that. The idea is AD did not want to play center. LeBron and AD said the Lakers needed a what? A center. What center was out there for us to get?
Kai Jones.
By not blowing up any possible chance of future.
Mark Williams.
And what happened with that?
They said he failed the physical.
Okay, so what did we have to do? We had to suck it up. We all know we needed Mark Williams, but we had to suck it up because he was the only center available. Try and sign somebody off a scrap heap. When that didn't work, the only other move we could make is to move LeBron and move AD. That was the only move there for the Lakers. In any other franchise, you would say, bro, that's the end right there. You blow it all up.
Right.
He's still there. We pull Luka Doncic out of a magic hat and laid him in front of LeBron and be like, bro, this is your future.
So what are you saying? You need him to make a statement saying, I like this?
I just need him to relax and enjoy. Like, bro, you have 2 years left. The Lakers building a championship team around you.
I feel like he's absolutely doing that, though. I feel like we getting agitated about something we don't need to. Like, this is a non-issue to me.
That man in a random Cleveland Cavaliers gym.
Every offseason. Every single offseason.
I respect that and I understand that. But you don't need to stoke flames to this fire to make it seem that the Lakers failing you in some metric.
That's
all I'm saying.
No, hold on.
All I'm saying.
Hold on. Telling LeBron not to go back to Cleveland and work out is like telling DeAndre or Buddy not to come to Kendall Isaacs and work out. That's where he's from. That's what he does every offseason. What are we talking about?
Really not.
That's not the first time I've seen that picture. And
really not.
People do these things, and I feel like it's the ignorance of basketball fans and social media not knowing that.
Hold on. So you do that the same week your agent puts out 3 separate statements explaining to you that you have to pursue every possible angle to put yourself in the best position for the next 2 years that you intend to play.
You know how much people
every offseason.
You know,
All.
Brownie was practicing in the Clippers facility the other day.
He does it every offseason. He goes home and he works out there. Okay, something that John said I wanted us to...
Aiden gonna be All-Star?
Yes, but not that yet. Is some of people thinking that this move won't work? Is it byproduct or some residual, I don't like LeBron, I don't want to see LeBron succeed kind of thing? Because I feel like there's a lot of that in this too.
I find it funny. Why is it like, okay, you're a fan of a team, but because LeBron's on the team, it's like, I don't like the team that much. And like, that makes no sense.
There are legitimately Laker fans that have wished nothing but the worst for them since he started wearing the jersey.
Yeah, we know a couple of them.
Yeah.
It's
and it doesn't
so
make
strange
sense
to me. And sometimes I wonder like what it is. And I feel like you could point to the exact, I feel like if you were born anytime before 1980 and before, you have like this, it's nostalgia. I feel like admitting that anyone in the current era is better than anyone before, you feel like it has some effect on what you saw during your adolescence.
I don't even think that's the case. I can tell you
that happens a lot.
No, I agree that happens, but in this particular broad instance with Laker fans, there's a strong pull in the Laker community, the fact that he was once the guy that was supposed to go head to head with Kobe.
Oh my God.
He was Kobe's. No, and
Kobe was one of his biggest fans.
Right.
Like,
but to
make it make sense.
To Laker fans, it's like, bro, you go on and sign the mortal enemy. That's what it's like.
What does that have to do with now? What does that have to do with
just
now?
want to read a quick text. Sorry, Laker fans. No chip. I assume this is supposed to be while LBJ is there. Aiden on, I can't even make that part up. The NBA has pivoted their face. LBJ and Luka. LBJ is the GOAT fraud. He is all about brand. He is the master of brand management to boost him over everyone else. LBJ builds people around him to take the blame when he fails. Ayton has never played with leaders. So, John, that last portion of the text was just for you.
Never. Aiden, you don't have to play with leaders.
He played with Chris Paul. He played with Chris Paul. Chris Paul was a leader. Those were the best years of his career.
No,
I agree.
I
agree. This is sorry, John. For DeAndre, this is the best professional situation I think he's ever been in.
Hands down.
He will be the rotating between the third and fourth option. He's gonna have one job in this offense. What? Why do you look like that?
Third or fourth?
Yeah. Austin Reeves.
It depends on the night.
I feel like if Dalton Connect remains in the Lakers, he's the fourth option.
Okay.
What?
Option,
He's the
whatever.
fourth option.
Second year Dalton Connect, who did nothing as a rookie, is going to be an option above.
Yeah.
Well, if he's a fourth,
I keep you forget when Luka was in Dallas.
you can't be a fifth option and have better stats.
Right, but look at when Luka was in Dallas. Where did the points come from in Dallas? Open 3-point shooters. That's the reason Dalton Connect is still on tape. I'm not saying that DeAndre is not going to have a good year.
I don't want to get bought. I don't want to get bought. I don't want to get bought.
I'm going to say this. Luka is 10x what Chris Paul is right now, or was back then.
Yeah.
The amount of pick and rolls, alley-oops, open. Aiden's going to have a field that Aiden's not going to have to take jump shots. He's going to shoot like 70% from the field because most of his shots are going to be layups or dunks or little baby hook shots. That's going to be the game.
But see, again, the Lakers did
LeBron.
this weird thing last season where we basically had two offensive playbooks. You had the playbook when Luke and LeBron was on the court together, and then when Luke was on the court by himself. That playbook is going to be DeAndre's field day. That's going to make him the all-star player you're referring to. I'm not confident what he's going to be on the court while LeBron is on the court. That's just how I feel. The last couple of seasons, LeBron has not played really, really well with centers the size of Ayton. I'm sorry, he's
had none with this skill set.
Well, not with the skill set, no, but I don't feel like that's LeBron's game is not, hey, get it down into the post, let me put you in the best position.
That's also not Aiden's game.
Let me tell you something about DeAndre, right? A motivated DeAndre is the most dangerous DeAndre. And that's what it is. He's going to go there with a motivation he's never had before since he was with Phoenix, saying, hey, I could play this. Remember, his last meaningful basketball games were Bahamas basketball games in the summer. That would now all of a
Shut
sudden...
up, Portland. Portland and shot that.
All of his basketball games now are the most important because the lights shine brighter in LA.
So let me ask you before we go into half, because I kind of understand your stance right here now.
I get it's stupid, but anyway.
What would be the issue that is brought up if it does not work out between this 3-headed monster the Lakers are trying to put together? Who's gonna carry the blame?
LeBron.
If it does not work out, you think LeBron is gonna carry the blame?
No,
Yeah.
LeBron will carry the blame.
I think he always does.
Wow.
I mean, I don't see how it's not LeBron, especially that, like you say, he's making 30% of the salary cap the Lakers have. But the media this is the one time where I could say, when DeAndre was Phoenix, it was easy to pick on DeAndre. Everyone wants to pick on LeBron. Everyone wants to say, is LeBron the real leader that we know? If Jordan was playing, LeBron would be averaging 50 points a game. Like, that's how it would be.
I think who the blame is going to go to is still yet to be decided. I think so much of that is going to depend on how DeAndre looks in this Laker uniform. I think it's going to depend on how he's playing. If it's obvious that he is giving the kind of motivated DeAndre like what John is talking about, then there's no way he takes the blame for that. I think the praise and the fault always lies with the leader of the team, and it's always been with LeBron.
Okay.
That's just the way it is.
Okay.
But to something that we still got time. To something that the texter said when he said LeBron builds up players around him
To take the fall. Yeah.
Do we not think he's just trying to win? I don't quite get that. Like, yes, Bron, he's a great brand manager, and he said that when he was 18 years old, it was one of the things that made me intrigued with his whole story, and why I prefer his story over anyone else's. I remember him saying, "I want to be a global icon." Why would I just want to be a basketball player?
No, I get all of that, and this is where the difficulty is always going to be with me as a Laker and LeBron fan, because I gotta have to look at it in two separate lenses.
You don't.
Now I have to, and I'm going to explain to you why. Being a fan of LeBron these last couple of seasons has made me realize quickly how much he passes the blame in very, very tense situations. I don't have an issue with it. I understand. You're arguably the greatest basketball player ever. You feel with your talent alone, you should be in a position every year to win a championship. I respect that. But at the same time, sometimes it's on him.
Yeah.
The failure of the team is on him. You have to step up and say, I wasn't really focused tonight. I really wasn't in it this year. In a lot of situations, LeBron kind of skirts that blame and put it on every other player on the team and make it seem they feel it.
He has been personally accountable, man. That's some revisionist history.
Yeah, no,
but
I don't agree with that.
But just now,
in a lot of our situations, bro, in the last couple of seasons, LeBron has really... Lakers has been up there in terms of importance for him, but it's not been his number one priority. I'm sorry, as a Laker fan,
that is crazy that people think that for
I've
you to
seen it.
What have you seen? You've seen someone that's the oldest player in the league still have that kind of production, and you telling me that is not his top priority?
No, what you're taking that as is I'm seeing his production and saying, bro, LeBron is not good. I'm not saying that. LeBron has been excellent
You
for the
just
Lakers.
said it's not his top priority. Then what is?
Those two things could be the same now. They could exist in the same box.
So please tell me what you think his top priority is.
He could still be one of the best players in the league and not have basketball as his top priority. That's how good LeBron is.
We're going to go to the half right now. When we come back from the half, Carter is going to explain to us what LeBron's top priority is. Next.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Have you taken a look at those investment options yet?
Too busy. Look at today. Workout, breakfast, drop kids at school, back-to-back meetings, dog from the groomer, nails. And that's all before 12. How come you're so chill?
That's because my money is as busy as you.
At RF, we find the best Bahamian and international investments to keep your money busy so you can spend more time focusing on you. Contact us at rfgroup.com to find out more. RF, money at work.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
In these very difficult times when crime is on the increase, you don't need to waste money on imitation security. Get the best at Wemco Security, the company you keep. Don't delay. Call today or visit their office at 32 Collins Avenue across from Columbus Primary School.
Always on the go? Missed the show? You can now listen to Guardian Radio talk shows anytime, anywhere on Spotify and YouTube by searching Guardian Radio 96.9 FM or by entering the name of your favorite show. You can also listen by logging on to GuardianTalkRadio.com and clicking on the podcast tab. Guardian Radio, continuing to provide you with fresh news and smart talk anywhere, anytime, all day.
Family life is full of joy and challenges. With a Fidelity personal loan, you can handle life surprises while focusing on what matters most. From home renovations to unexpected expenses, our loans are fast, reliable solutions to any problem life throws your way. Make that move today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Girl, you see how Cora eye look funny, all black up yesterday?
But she say she bumped into a wall when she's running after the churn them.
Yeah, but last Saturday, you see her arm was all black and blue, right?
So what you saying? You think something wrong between her and Jack?
I ain't sure, but you know Jack is a jealous man. I hear him and Cora last Friday. I hear him say he hear Cora have eyes for Junior.
Now you know that ain't true. Cora is a good woman, does mind her business, take care of them churn, and go to church every Sunday. So what you think we should do?
I think we should report Jack, you know. Cora don't say nothing, but silence hides violence, and we don't want to line up in the cemetery.
Not me. I ain't getting in nobody business. Then Jack come after me and I land up next to Cora.
No, man, we could call a text Crime Stopper. And remember, we can even get some grocery money for our tip.
Remind me again, how does this work?
We can call them in Miami at 328-TIPS or 328-8477. Or when we in the island, call toll free at 300-TIPS or 300-8477. And if you don't have no minutes, use the Crack Crime Bahamas app and we could text them and the messages get on mix up before it leave your phone so nobody can know what you saying.
So what we waiting on then? Let's go earn some grocery money.
Welcome back to the Accredited, powered by 10th year seniors here on Guardian Radio 96.9. I'm Ronaldo, and I hope Drake ain't doing what I thought he was doing with this What Did I Miss track.
I'm Ricardo. I was surprised that he lasted that long in the truck driving through Toronto. That was funny as hell.
Michael Thompson, the greatest shooter in Cardo's history, Rick Fox, DeAndre Ayton, Lakers championship this year.
Fair point.
All right, so if you missed what we were talking about before the break, Carter was explaining to us that basketball is no longer LeBron James' top priority.
It isn't.
And so what I want to do is go down the list of the all NBA team, and I want Carter to explain to us what each one of their top priority is. And I'm going to start with Giannis Antetokounmpo, top priority.
He trying to force the Milwaukee Bucks to put him in the best position to win another championship. And he also recently joined TikTok. He's been funny as hell.
No, but you were no.
Giannis.
I love that elaborate answer that you gave. But you were saying that basketball ain't LeBron's top priority. Could you shorten your answer to? So what is it for Giannis? TikTok.
You could say it yes.
Okay.
Doesn't sound like basketball.
SGA.
Come on now, it's championships. That's his number one priority.
That's his number one priority. Okay. Jokic.
Oh, horses.
Donovan Mitchell.
Health. He trying to stay healthy.
Tatum.
Same thing right now. He ain't playing next year. So.
Jalen Brunson.
He's a dog though.
See, it's tough for Jalen Brunson because it is championships. Mm-hmm. It is championships for Jalen Brunson. But he can't do it in New York. Not with the team around him.
Steph Curry.
Retirement. Legacy. That's all he care about.
Anthony Edwards.
I can't answer that all. there.
Evan Mobley.
Jamaica.
Cade Cunningham.
Getting out of Detroit.
Holly.
I guess.
Recover too.
Yeah, recovery.
James Harden.
Strip clubs.
Cat.
Getting out of New York.
J-Dub.
I think he's pushing to try and be defensive player of the year next year. So basketball.
LeBron James.
Being a mogul.
You were incorrect on how much that was? 15. He was incorrect on like 12 of them. Everyone's top priority is basketball.
No, it's not.
No,
everyone's
Jokic
top priority is
horses.
basketball.
No,
it's still basketball.
No, explain to me right now how basketball is LeBron's top priority.
How do you think the mogul thing happened?
Do you think he's not working out?
No, I'm not saying he's not working. I think that's a part of his life. What I'm saying is, hear me out now. When basketball is your number one priority, you're putting yourself in a position to ensure that the team is better.
No, I disagree with that. See, what y'all want is that thing on the front to be more important to him than the thing on the back. Why?
Because I'm a Laker fan.
He is LeBron James.
You know what? LeBron is going to retire at some point, and my Lakers will still be playing basketball.
We understand Why you think he care about that more than he care about
I'm not expecting him not to care about. I'm not expecting him to care about the Lakers more than he cares about himself. All I'm saying is, don't hold my team hostage to meet whatever ridiculous demands that you're trying to get.
You forget Stephon Marbury's greatest line, right?
What's that?
When he's like, when the Knicks wanted to buy him out, and he was like, "I got a jet to pay for." He's still playing ball, but boy, he need that money.
It's very difficult for me to comprehend why people would think he would care about the future and fate of this organization more than he cares about.
Nobody's saying
you want him to look at it from the perspective of do his best for the Lakers. Why would I do that?
The best, I could care less what he thinks. I want my team to be in the best position to compete every year. If that means that we need to move on from LeBron, by all means, move on from LeBron. We have a caller. Caller, go ahead. Thanks, John. The Accredited.
Hello?
Hi, go ahead.
Yeah, this Knowles here who, Happy Knowles was sending the text. And you're talking about LeBron James in terms of whether he's number one priority is basketball.
Yeah.
And never was.
Oh, boy.
It's always been him. He used basketball as a vehicle, a facility to get what he needs. So if you look at everything, when he came to LA, he went to his pizza places before he even joined the team, meet with the team for a whole week or a half or two. And then when he did join, the first thing he did was start talking about who needs to leave. So it's always been about him. So, but, you know, LeBron on his way out, so he's going to focus more on him still.
I appreciate your call.
Yeah, man.
See?
I feel like everybody's job and everyone looks at their employment the same exact way. Because they're basketball players and they make this exorbitant amount of money, we shouldn't look at it any differently.
No, I'm not. And see, this is why.
Y'all think Jordan didn't care about off-the-court stuff with his shoes?
See? Oh, my God. This is why I didn't want to have this conversation like this. Because I don't want to fall into...
Jordan get tired and retired.
Right. But...
Jordan went to the Wizards.
I'm not falling into the bracket of people that feel like basketball players should put this random thought process to say, I'm going to live and die by the team I play for. I understand that all sports is first and foremost a business. I get that. But as a fan of the teams that I support, that's my number one priority. I want those organizations to be in the best position possible. All I'm saying in this argument is not that I don't feel like LeBron should have everything he wants or deserves as the greatest players of all time. All I'm saying is this. As a Laker fan, we've given him all we can give.
Okay, great. My thing is
You know what Kobe would have said? More.
The entire thing about...
He did. We pushed Kobe to consider the Bulls at one point.
Push Kobe. The entire thing about fan and fanatic and where the root of all of that comes from is we expect these people to care about this as much as we do, which is insane in some areas because that is never going to align.
We're the fanatics and they're not.
No, that is never going to align, and we got to stop doing that.
And I agree, you have a lot of people just like the caller that believes those things. I had no problem when LeBron came to LA. Him say it. Bro, Magic told me that there's a lot of business out here that I could be a part of. I respect all that. Go and do all that. All I'm saying is from a basketball standpoint, I want my Lakers to be in a position to win. Everything that we've done for you thus far has moved us further.
LeBron average.
I want to, John, I want to go out on a limb here and say the hottest of hot takes.
Go ahead.
Prepare yourself for this one. I think LeBron James wants to win basketball games.
Boy. You sure about that?
I think LeBron James would like to win an NBA title.
Every player wants to win an NBA title.
You sure? Y'all sure? Y'all sure?
We've done everything possible to give LeBron a championship competitive
and
team.
this is why I consider him the most polarizing athlete of his generation because I really just wanted to make this about DeAndre. I wanted this to be a conversation about DeAndre. Why did it become a LeBron conversation?
Because I feel like you're trying to push the narrative that the Lakers has not done all possible to make LeBron a championship.
No, not at one point did I say that.
Okay, let me ask the question like this before I put words in your mouth. Mm-hmm. What can the Lakers do right now to make themselves a championship competitive team by next season?
I think they just did it.
So you feel like this DeAndre move is enough for the Lakers to compete?
Yes,
it's a start. It's not going to be the end of.
I think they can add depth, but I think they have enough to win right now.
Specifically, what depth?
I think they need backcourt depth. I think they need playmaker depth. I actually think Chris Paul would work well in this team.
Okay, let me refine the question even better. What could the Lakers do in the next couple of months to say, hey, by no chance they should not win the championship next year? What can the Lakers add for you to say, head over heels, they're the favorite to win?
They got to get a proper backup center. And they got to get more shooting.
I don't think there's anything that would make me say that because the way the NBA is trending, you have had 8 different champions in the last 8 seasons. So I don't call anyone...
Even more the reason that they could compete.
I don't call anyone a foregone conclusion. So I don't think there's anything they could do outside of some ridiculous move to get another all-star that'll make me say that.
So we don't have enough all-stars.
You can always get more. You can always get more. Any team can always improve. The Thunder can improve.
With what money?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's not. My job is to do this, not to.
Yeah, we're not salary cap experts.
But and this is what I'm saying to you, and that's why I wanted to take the conversation there. As a fan, that's where my mindset is. Post LeBron, we have no possibilities right now.
Right.
Nothing beyond LeBron.
Right.
So we're all in on this.
Okay.
And as a team, on this. As a team, all in on this. To do all that you have done to put this man in the best position. And all you get from his agent all week after making the best move that you could make is, but we just go and see what better out there for him. What?
Yeah, what do you think he accrued all this power over the course of the last 40 years for? To be able to do that?
I got
that's what you get power for.
Yeah, I don't see anything. I keep saying Jordan did pretty much the same exact thing back then. It just wasn't 24/7 in the social media cycle.
It's why you get power to use
Kobe
it. It's the
used
only
his power
reason
to stay
have
with
it.
the Lakers.
I don't understand.
Give us 5 chips.
I don't get. Anyway, I wanted this to be about DeAndre, and we are going to celebrate this move happening. John thinks DeAndre Ayton is going to be an all-star. I think
15 and 10.
I think it's very possible he can have
disrespecting that 15 and 10.
He can have the same numbers like John said earlier.
At least 18 and 12.
He can have the same numbers roughly that he had since
shooting.
he went to Phoenix, and it would be viewed through a different prism because the spotlight, everything is heightened when you play for the Lakers. And that is what I'm looking forward to. The last time we've seen him play with two playmakers like this, like we said, it was a diminished version of Chris Paul, really, because Phoenix Chris Paul was in him at the height of his powers. Now we have prime Luka. Now you have LeBron.
I think Luka's going to have so much fun with this.
Both
because
of them.
they already have a good relationship, the two of them. And that's one of the most important things, to be able to have a great relationship with the person who actually handles the basketball. Because what do they want to do? They want to feed you. I feel like Luka's going to be like, you know what? I'm trying to get 15 assists this season. Because it's just dump downs to Aiden, and Aiden could dunk it.
And that's what is so intriguing about this to me. What does it look like when he plays with two playmakers? That is what I'm That's what I'm looking forward to the most in seeing DeAndre in this lineup. You get to play with two elite playmakers, two of the best probably that we've ever seen do
and
this.
Austin Reeves. And Austin Reeves.
Yeah, I know Austin Reeves, but Austin Reeves could be like doing his thing. Right? The greatest effect this is going to have is
he can pass too.
So the thing about it is there's probably never going to be a point where DeAndre is on the court and you don't have an elite playmaker around. So I look forward to that the most. Yes, he's going to have to be the anchor of that defense. They do not have elite perimeter defenders. They have to get younger on the perimeter as well.
But here's what I'm interested in. And I'm interested in seeing it, because DeAndre has done it before. He's shown flashes where he can carry a team for 2 to 3 to 4 minutes.
That's what I want. That's what I want to see.
And I want to see what that's, because if you're telling us now, Luka and LeBron could go to the bench, and you got Austin Reeves
and DeAndre
running the show, and you're not really taking a step back, that's where the Lakers are going to improve. Because remember when Luka would go out, LeBron would go out, that's where you saw the team just start sinking offensively.
Yeah, JJ Redick cost that though.
But JJ Redick loves DeAndre. Yeah. Let's just put it that way.
Everyone's going to. Like, so there's so many similarities between the Jazz thing and this to me. I just can't wait for it to actually happen.
I just want to see, because, like I said, DeAndre is going to be number 3, number 4 option. Cardo says number 5. Don't see it.
I don't know where he get this Dalton Connect fan club membership from. But you gotta be kidding me with that.
I don't get it either.
That man was almost in Charlotte.
D-Connect, bro.
Yeah, okay.
So, like I said,
hey, yo.
Yeah, my favorite thing of this trade is to see when LeBron and Austin Reeves, when Aiden and Austin Reeves are on the floor together. Because Austin can still space it out. You got to respect his shooting. But you also have to respect DeAndre's offensive game.
You knew.
Because from 15 foot inwards, he can hit that jump shot.
No, I feel like that's the portion of this whole discussion has been out the window. DeAndre Ayton, when he came into the league, not my fault.
You're talking about LeBron's legacy.
DeAndre, when he came into the league, it probably still is one of the most skilled in terms of handling the ball, big man, that we've seen in quite some time. And I felt like that was short-circuited his time in Portland for some strange reason. I don't know what Chauncey Billups is doing.
They had 17 guards.
It was never going to... I always looked at that as a pit stop, and I was surprised he was there for 2 years. Because they got Shadon Sharp, they got Scoot Henderson, you see where that team youth movement was going. Even Anthony Simons had to get out of there, and he ain't even a whole player. You see what they trying to do. So that's neither here or there. Like, we done with that era. I remember John saying...
was your team, though?
Yeah, I was just about to say that. John was saying they was trying to pull me back. No, sir. I root for wherever the Bahamians go. I root for wherever the Bahamians go, but I wasn't going down that Portland road again. I need y'all to make this
call, buddy, right now. They extended that trade. I forget who made the KD trade.
Oh, the 17.
Yeah. That buddy, look here, man. Talk to you, boys. Tell him about a minute, man. Move little something. Little something.
You know what's strange?
Because that's what we need. That's the missing piece. If we could get Buddy,
Buddy and Aiden on the Lakers,
that would be great. But I ain't gonna lie. When Buddy was available, I didn't want him to go to LA.
Because you stressed out.
I rather the Warriors. Because here's the thing, like, and John could attest to this too. I feel like we are so protective of the Bahamian players. I feel like I didn't want him to go into that LA buzzsaw with everything that was going on.
I'd be petty right now. You didn't want to play LeBron.
I wouldn't want him to go to Lakers. I preferred him to go to Golden State.
Why wouldn't you want him to play with LeBron?
I mean, that is a privilege of the highest order. Too.
No. Yeah. I just want to know specifically why would you want him to play with LeBron?
Because at that time, a lot of you gotta something about our.
It's the scrutiny now.
It's
the scrutiny.
I don't think the scrutiny is going to affect Buddy or anything. I don't like it wasn't the right position for him. The offense wasn't going to be there
A
for him.
shooter with LeBron is not the right position. Pause.
No, I don't. What I'm saying is what he was getting at the time, especially when he wasn't shooting well. I looked at what was happening with that and how amplified that would be in that situation.
Next to,
I feel
it would be amplified playing next to.
Yeah, everything's amplified playing in LA and playing next to LeBron.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
No. I had an issue with it when it happened in Philly. I had an issue with it when it was happening in Golden State. That was more about Buddy, not about LeBron. I feel like this is a perfect situation for DeAndre, and I feel like this is something that he needs. I feel like he needs the scrutiny. That's the difference with them two.
But you know who has a perfect situation? VJ Edgecombe.
Oh God.
It's Summer League.
Oh God.
Summer League starts tonight.
It's Summer League. Thank you, John. Because wow, we really made the whole show about Carlos sidetracked us. VJ Edgecombe and the Philadelphia 76ers debut. He makes his Summer League debut tonight in Utah, and right away. See, whenever there's a draft, you have people getting to pit 1 against 2 or 2 against 3, whatever, pitting 2 different decisions. Now you directly have because there is a faction of the Philly fan base that wanted Ace Bailey.
I don't know why, but
boy, if you listen to a lot of Philly media and you listen to it, may be the media more than the fans. Let me say that.
Yeah, I think what happened was so the media wants him because they think he's the next
Perfect
all-star
fit for that.
He's the size, and when VJ cried, the fans were like, "Well, that's what we want."
Mm-hmm. So those two go head to head tonight in Utah.
Ace Bailey actually going to the gym?
Ace Bailey's gonna play.
Oh, okay.
Allegedly.
I thought he was gonna take the rest of the month off.
9 p.m. tonight on ESPN, and
Showtime.
I swing to John first with this because John will tell you about the numbers. He's the greatest homer there's ever been in Bahamian sports. What do you expect tonight from VJ Edgecombe's debut in Summer League? And before he says anything, I want y'all to know he's being 100% honest.
VJ's going for 50 tonight. Y'all laughing. 50. Couple assists.
Who's the last man to score 50 in the Summer League?
I'm laughing because I know John mean that in his heart. You understand?
And
he's not doing a thing.
He's going to dunk someone off tonight. Someone getting dunk off. Okay, here's the thing.
Ace Bailey.
Boy, that would be great.
No, I ain't lying.
But I'll say this.
If there's a prop bet out there for that, take it right now.
I'm going to say this with VJ. VJ's either scoring 50, right? Or a solid like 22 with someone head getting burst right off.
I like how you tone it down to 22. I like when you doing your thing like he's going to score 50.
I can understand why 22 with somebody head getting
because at that point,
up there with 50.
Yeah, you ain't got to play that hard.
Because VJ is the kind of dude who actually go there, and when he dunking on somebody, he doing it for calamity.
2 hands.
Yes,
he pulling up on the rim.
You know what John said before Game 7? Buddy was going to score 40.
It was close.
He scored 33. So I need John to be extreme with his takes and stand on that 50. Because you know what might happen? VJ might drop 41. I don't know.
Well,
VJ dropping plenty.
If he dropped 41 tonight,
let's put it this way.
Cycle is gonna
Today is going to be the day when people are going to say, you know what? Philly was right.
But we know. Okay, so here's the thing.
You gotta stop saying we know. We homers in this case. The
No,
world out there.
No. I was going to say we know that Summer League is always an extreme overreaction in one way or the other. Whether it's for the positive,
especially Utah Summer League.
Yeah, whether it's for the positive or you know what they need to do? Move that back to Orlando. No. The Orlando Summer League was good.
The reason why they're not going to do it is because Vegas is right next to it, and they could just it's right around the corner.
They have still a couple of games in Orlando, right?
No.
That
done. What used to happen in Orlando now happens in Utah. So you have the Utah and you got the California Classic, and then everyone goes to Vegas.
So back in the day, it used to be Orlando and Vegas. Yeah. So teams would pick to say we either go into Orlando or we go into Vegas, and then they just say we could put everything in Vegas, and it became a
sponsorship money.
Yeah, California Classic, and then Utah one came beforehand. So 8 teams go to that, then everyone goes to Vegas.
Carter, you want them to put a NBA team in Vegas right now? You see what's going on? You think they could have Malik Beasley on an NBA team in Vegas?
Boy, they got legit laws, bro.
That man owes Bob $27,000.
How much you owe his dentist?
Oh my! It was more because his dentist was actually garnishing his wages. How
I didn't know that was possible.
I'm trying to figure out
thing.
what work did he get done?
Please tell me what was happening at this barbershop where you can accrue a debt of $27,000. I don't know how much years of haircuts that is.
Yeah, because I look
How
at
much
it-
years of haircut is that for you?
But I don't know.
I
Like,
look at it from
honestly-
the start. I feel like as soon as you get in the range of like 10K, you tell him like, "Oh, you gotta clear the balance, dog."
10K. This haircuts.
No, because I imagine he spent like anywhere between 1 and 150 for a
Okay,
cut.
if he's spending 100 on a haircut,
That's like 10 cuts. 10 cuts is $1,000. So you're looking at what, 20, 30 cuts?
You cutting your hair every day?
No, that's what
but
I was asking. Is he
over the-
cutting his hair every day?
Over the course of the year, you telling the barber, "Yeah, but meet me this spot. I got you."
All right, so 52
But
weeks.
if I'm
Let's
the
just say he
barber,
gets his haircut 25 times a year.
Right.
But if I'm the barber, I ain't letting 30 of them go unpaid. That's my question.
You paying me advance a year.
30?
So I think
You got to put a deposit down.
What
for
I
this
think the
haircut
actual case
service.
is more like, hey, yeah, book the ticket. I could just get you, and you waiting for that, that direct deposit to hit, and it ain't never hit. So I imagine that's the case.
So was Malik Beasley flying out everyone? Like his barber, his dentist?
Everybody.
I'm assuming yells.
So he had a budget. The budget probably just didn't cover. He had to pay the most.
Wait, Detroit
important-
haircut's expensive.
I just need to know from.
I'm glad I only have to get it, but I have locks, so now I only got to get a little shape up on the side.
I just need to know what the discussion was like for your barber and dentist to start garnishing your wages.
Bro.
Like, how do you go into your account and be like, yeah, but make sure they get paid before I get something?
I say all that to say they can't have no NBA team in Vegas.
They have to.
Too close. You see what happened? It's happening everywhere. It's happening. The gambling money is too close to the sports, and you gotta have some sort of separation, even locally. Because I mean, listen, I love the sports books. I'm an NBA player. I'm not a professional athlete, so I partake. Y'all stay away from our professional athletes, please.
Oh,
Let's not congratulate them directly.
Like, let's not. Like, we don't even hovering around any of them. Let's separate church and state. Like, we get it. It's all good. Let's just
Content?
Let's
Cool.
just stay away from that. If you want to fun content creators, that's fine.
No, wait.
Mm-hmm.
They the people with the money. Who you think control the best parties?
That's fine.
That's fine. You can do everything.
You could do all of that. All we saying is do not be directly associated
Y'all
with
sound
them.
like y'all didn't get the invite to Bimini. That could be a bachelor.
No,
bro.
we don't. We don't. See, we don't
cool.
care about the invite to Bimini. We care about the legacy of our guy without getting any questions.
Because
the
right
space
n-
is too small.
Right now, the antennas at that NBA office, they on heightened alert right now with any of this stuff. All I'm saying is you just don't need it in the air. That's all.
We also got to talk about Isaiah Mobley.
All right, so we got 4 minutes to talk about Isaiah Mobley. So, the reason why Isaiah Mobley is so important is one of the reasons why Mikey Thompson was so important. Isaiah Mobley should have played for the national team. He ended up getting hurt, right?
Yeah.
So he was in national team camp. Does want to play for the program moving forward. And he is a great player. He would be one of the best bigs we have on the team. Very important to the roster.
Right.
What's even more important is when he go home, talking to his brother and saying, hey,
That's right.
you really could leave me hanging? You really could watch me suit up for the aquamarine black and gold.
They just call it aquamarine.
We could tell him. On National Pride Day.
John, you wear that on Pride.
He might have. John, make sure you get a jersey.
Okay.
He got plenty of Bahamas gear.
Plenty Bahamas gear. So I'm sure he wear it. So we want him to talk to his brother and be like, I am going out there giving blood, sweat, and tears for this Bahamian
Don't
national
bleed,
team.
bro. Don't bleed.
But you might bleed. What you could do?
Here's the thing with Isaiah.
The Jamaicans loading up.
They trying to.
Yeah.
Too bad we already there.
But talk your
with
stuff.
Isaiah, I think the Warriors is actually a good spot with Looney leaving. They need this. They need the size.
Thank you. I didn't mention any of that. Yeah, he playing with the Warriors in
Yeah.
Summer League, playing tonight in the California Classic.
So
Yeah.
he has an opportunity to not only get, I believe, a two-way contract, because last year he was on a regular G League deal. Then he got moved to two-way. He played the last regular season game with Philly. But I think this is a season where he actually might, if not stick on a roster, because he's not going to cost too much money to put on the roster, but he's going to give them the size and the athleticism that they need at that 5. Remember, he's bigger than Draymond. They had Draymond playing the 5. So they might be able to put him in at the 5 and then put Draymond at the 4 to be able to play. But I feel that Isaiah has a great shot of being in the NBA this year, which only totals more Bahamians in the NBA.
And it all leads back there to the most important thing. And as Carter was arguing very passionately from the standpoint of a Laker fan, me and John only argue very passionately from the standpoint of a Bahamas basketball fan.
I need to argue more passionately and ensure that Buddy getting a Laker jersey.
And it comes full circle, and I like that is the point where John ended it because...
Tell Buddy if he go play for the Lakers, we can send him some coconut tart or something, bro.
You don't think he could get his own?
Do you know how much tens of millions of dollars this man has?
Bro. What would he need?
Why do you think that's the draw?
For Buddy, what he need to play for the Lakers?
There's nothing we can do for him that he cannot do for himself. What are you talking about?
Make sure you get a statue or something.
We can't do that. Ain't nobody get no statue.
No one.
Ain't no basketball player have no
Thomas A.
statue.
Robinson have a statue.
That'll do it for this episode of Accredited. When we come back, we'll try to see what athlete can finally get a statue.
You get 2 stadiums though.
Y'all don't like LeBron, but